So this is, as Sharon said, a great award. I think one of the reasons this award is so amazing is because it's about one of the reasons we're all here. Well, we're all here because we share a drive and a commitment to openness, but we're also here because we share a drive for collaboration in new and novel ways, in important, deep ways that serve patients, that serve the health of individuals, families, and communities. And certainly, this award tonight really embodies that. I'm really excited to introduce our nominator to give the Art of Industry Partnership Award, which honors a for-profit biotechnology, pharmaceutical, or genetics company whose track record models the benefits of creative partnerships between consumer advocates and industry to advance understanding and treatment of genetic conditions, disorders, and diseases. And I'm introducing a man who in his own right has done amazing things for collaborations, John Walsh, who's been a leader of the Alpha One community and has spearheaded a partnership with tonight's award winner. So join me in welcoming John Walsh.
Thank you, James. On behalf of the Alpha One community, I'd like to express our appreciation to the Genetic Alliance for and kudos for creating the partnership award with industry. I think without industry, we wouldn't have drug development. Certainly in the ultra-orphan space, the orphan space, the rare space. We need that academia side, we need drug discovery. So thank you very much to the Genetic Alliance and the leadership for establishing this very important award. It's not a missing link, it's an absolutely critical link. It's my pleasure to introduce the Art of Industry Partner Award to the recipient this evening, Talecris Biotherapeutics. The Alpha One community is very much appreciative, of their continuous commitment to our community over the past 22 years. I'd like to recognize Bob Barrett, CEO, and Grant Wood, board member of the AlphaNet. I'd like to recognize my dear friends, Vicki and Fred Modell, co-founders of the Jeffrey Modell Foundation, and also Marcia Boyle and her husband, John, who are co-founders of the Immune Deficiency Foundation, and recognize their exemplary work in creating awareness for individuals with primary immune deficiency and providing critical services to them and support for the research community. The discovery of our protein at NIH and the enactment of the Orphan Drug Act gave an opportunity to a company to step forward and risk the investment of commercializing a protein that was discovered at NIH. The discovery of the protein gave us in the Alpha One community an opportunity to extend our lives, to improve our quality of lives. And without a company stepping forward to invest in that, I would say that both Dennis Pollack, who's a board member of the Alpha One Association and a double lung transplant that's here this evening, and I would not be here tonight. Certainly my twin brother Fred, who's on full-time supplemental oxygen on a transplant list, wouldn't be here waiting for the transplant. Talecris sponsored a 7-year longitudinal disease progression study that was part of a phase 4 requirement and engaged 32 institutions across the country to enroll and diagnose individuals with Alpha One. Their support groups were formed and organized around these centers, which literally created our community as we became study subjects for this 7-year longitudinal study. The support group network was supported by Talecris as it expanded, and now we have 82 support groups around the country providing services to individuals with Alpha One for the development and dissemination of education materials and support for all the educational conferences, regional and national, which we couldn't have done without their support. They have continuously supported our research mission, allowed us to expand the advancement of our investigator-initiated peer-reviewed grant program, and we have our scientific director, Dr. Adam Warner, here this evening to share in this recognition. The critical shortage of prolastin for about 5-year span we were all under therapeutically dosed. Sick every time we got on an airplane, if we could fly. And Talecris stepped up to the gate when we asked for equality in access, when all of the distributors turned their backs on us. Well, they were, excuse me, makes me angry to talk about it. Well, they gave preference to individuals that had the highest reimbursement level. You know, that's continuous commitment. That's respect for the community. They made the courageous decision to implement a direct distribution program which impacted their other business activities and responded to our request for direct consumer allocation. Well, that direct program within 8 months allowed product to be available for 300 additional individuals with Alpha-1 that could not get access prior to the direct distribution. Cut out the middleman, take that stuff off of the inventory shelves, make sure we're able to infuse it in our veins. There was no excuse for that, and that solved our critical shortage. At the community's request, product was made available even during this critical shortage to 2 companies to get their products through trials and be able to get fast-track licensure for 2 additional new therapies. This gave almost an exponential increase in access to therapies for our community, so nobody has to go without, and everybody can be diagnosed, can be infused at a therapeutic level. What company would do that? There's no economic advantage. They did it. During the shortage, Talecris also made the commitment to continue to support our detection efforts, and in fact, over the years have done diagnosis and paid for by their own company to over 50,000 individuals for Alpha-1. We may only have 6,000 diagnosed, but the commitment of Talecris to continue to invest even during a shortage based upon the counsel and advice of our scientific and medical leadership allowed hundreds, if not thousands of alphas to be diagnosed. Talecris has invested millions of dollars in developing our next generation therapy, which will be aerosol delivery of our protein. And for those that aren't familiar with it, Alpha-1, Alpha-1 is a genetic condition that causes a dysfunction at the liver cell level that doesn't allow a protein to circulate, Alpha-1 antitrypsin, that protects our lungs. And it impacts us in 2 ways. 5% of our population are diagnosed at birth, essentially with infantile cirrhosis. It's a primary reason for liver transplantation in infants, or we can get it at any time in our lives. With lung disease, most of us present with early onset emphysema diagnosis between 35 and 45. According to that longitudinal study I mentioned, our lifespan is 54. Because of prolastin and the augmentation therapies available, my brother and I just turned 60. My sister's 62. Mom died at 46 when we were 13. We never thought we'd see 60. So funding support for our research initiatives has allowed our investigators to identify very specific targets, compounds, that hold great promise for new therapies in the future. We will have a cure someday. Talecris has created a laser-focused, patient-centered commitment that emanates through its whole organization, from Larry Stern, the executive chairman, CEO, to senior leadership like Joe Zura, who's here tonight, Bill Zabel, and others, and every employee in the country, whether it's at the manufacturing or whether they're sales reps. Talecris epitomizes the Art of Industry Partner Award. They truly set the standard by example. I'd like to express, on behalf of the Alpha-1 community and all the plasma derivative community, our heartfelt appreciation for your incredible support, compassion, and dedication to each and every one of us. So it's my pleasure to introduce a dear friend and chairman and CEO of Talecris Biotherapeutics, who gets the message, who gets the partnership importance, and supports us in a meaningful way, Larry Stern.